Hey, this is CJ, and today we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit interesting. I have a question for you. Think about the last time, or if ever, you were accused of something that you did not do, okay, and how you felt about it. And now think about something that you're accused of that you did do, and how you felt about it, how you reacted to it. Okay, I'm going to start with the first one. I have a little story for you. So, when I was a kid, I think I was about like 6 years old. My parents used to buy the Enderman's cake, the Enderman's cakes, and they would put it on the top of the fridge. And it was, the big treat in the house, and we would have it after dinner. Everyone would get a little slice. My mom didn't cook, she didn't bake. So it was just something that we did after dinner, or maybe on the weekend. She wasn't big on giving out that much sweets, but it was a big deal in my house. And I was about 6 or 7 years old, and one morning I woke up and I remember my mom and dad yelling in the kitchen, and I ran downstairs and they looked at me and they said, "Carrie, we know that you ate the top of this Entenmann's cake." And I looked down and there was a cake with just the golden bottom that never was really good. It was never a good cake. And the topping, all of it was a black and white marble topping, was just off of it, just gone. And I actually had to stop and think, because I was like, wait, this is something I would do. I would eat the whole top, but I didn't. I really didn't. So I sat there and I said, I didn't do it. And they didn't believe me right away. They said, "Carrie, we know you did it. And I went, "Oh my God, holy shit, I really didn't do this." And I freaked the fuck out. And I was like, "I swear I'll do anything to prove I didn't do this. Like, Mom questioned me on everything about last night. I'll take a lie detector test. I'll do anything. I could probably, I don't know who did it, but I swear it wasn't me. I don't think it was my brother, but I don't think it was you, and I don't think it was Dad, but it wasn't me. So who could have come in here? I don't know, but let's find the person." And that is like the normal reaction that you have when you actually haven't done something that you're being accused of. So now think about a time in your life that you were accused of something that you actually did do and you were trying to get away with it. So I was thinking about these things today, so I already have one in mind. I remember I was in sixth grade and I had a boyfriend that was in seventh grade, and he carved his initials into my rocking chair, and then he felt so bad about it that he lit it on fire. Just lit the rocking chair on fire, and it was my grandma's rocking chair. My mom was so upset about it, and we had to just figure out what to say. And she said to me, "Hey, did you and his name was Pete. Hey, did you and Pete light the rocking chair on fire?" And I said, "No, I didn't. I didn't do it. We didn't do that." And she said, "Well, did Pete do it?" And I said, "No, Pete didn't do it. He wouldn't do something like that. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe one of his friends came over and maybe they did it. Maybe like Paul or Steve, or maybe like they have this friend Alana that I don't trust. She might have come over and done it." So this is the normal reaction that you have when you did do something. You start blaming other people, but you don't want to blame one person because you don't want one person to take the fall and have to you know, really be in trouble. So you start blaming a bunch of people and just hope that it kind of just goes away. If you blame like 20 people, they'll just get confused and it goes away. So let's bring this back to politics and talk about Donald Trump and how he is dealing with the fact that he probably colluded with the Russians. No, he did collude with the Russians. And how he was dealing with the entire situation. So from the very beginning, he knew it existed. I'm sure his family was involved. And from the very beginning, He was asked, hey, have you colluded with the... No, there's been no collusion, no collusion, no collusion, no collusion. Then there was a little piece of Donald Trump Jr., saying, oh, maybe I had a meeting with them, but nothing came out of it. It was about adoption, and yeah, they had nothing. They didn't bring anything to the table, so, they didn't really have any dirt on Hillary, so it just kind of went away. Okay. That is how someone reacts when they are truly guilty. They just make up another story and start blaming other people. He said, oh, this person was there, it was a big nothing burger. Da, da, da. Okay. From right then and there, I knew he was guilty. Because if you're completely innocent, you do not bring up a meeting and say that it was about something else. Okay, especially what the fuck does Donald Trump Jr. give a shit about adoption and Russian adoption? I knew right then and there that it was bullshit. So, moving on a little bit, Donald Trump has been saying no collusion, and now all of a sudden he's saying, hey, even if there was collusion, that's not a crime. Anyway, the same way I would say to my parents, hey, even if someone did burn my rocking chair, is that really like a big crime? Aren't lighters legal? Maybe chairs are supposed to be like everywhere. Yeah, that's just a complete bullshit story that you give when you are guilty. So I remember when I had not eaten that Entenmann's cake, that I said to my mom, ask me anything. Go ahead, ask me anything. And my parents actually talked about it, and they were so sure that I was guilty, and they thought about it, and they decided that they were going to ask me a bunch of questions. And I remember, sitting down with my mom, and I was so excited. I was like, ask me anything. Yeah. So she said, do you remember going to bed last night? Maybe you were a little hungry? And I said, maybe. Some nights I go to bed hungry. But I didn't eat the fucking topping off that cake. And she asked me, hey, do you remember waking up in the middle of the night and maybe going downstairs to the kitchen? And I said, no, but even if I did not eat that fucking topping off the cake. And she asked me, and by the way, I wasn't scared because I knew I hadn't have done it. I didn't do it. I really, really didn't do it. I mean, this is like a mystery in my family to this day. And she said to me, hey, do you remember seeing anybody else around that night? Maybe in the kitchen, maybe around, maybe your brother, maybe daddy. Did anyone talk about the cake? Did anyone say that they liked to eat the icing off the cake? And I said, I don't remember anyone saying it, but if they did, I mean, I really don't know. All I know is I didn't do it. And I am willing to take a lie detector test for you because that's how much I know I didn't do it. You can even check my duty. I remember saying that. I was like, check my duty, check my PP, put it, let's bring it to the science lab. We used to live by a laboratory right across the street. Bring it to the laboratory. Do what you need to do. I swear to God, I didn't do it. And they believed me. And we never figured out who did it, but they believed me. And so Donald Trump, while he's going through all this, he's going through all those steps that I went through with the rocking horse. The first step he's going through is, I didn't do it. Second step he's going through is, they didn't do it. The next step he's going through is, well, maybe they thought about doing it, but they wouldn't actually do it. We might have talked about it, but we wouldn't actually do it, And if they did do it, I wasn't involved. I would never be involved with something like that. And then the next step after that is, well, even if they did do it, really, what are you going to do? Put me in Long Island jail for kids? What are you going to put me in juvie? Like, what is this really a crime? Is this really something I need to be really worried about, even if we did do it, but we didn't? And I remember that. And it's just so obvious that Trump is guilty. And the fact that he will not sit down and meet with Robert Mueller is everything. If you're innocent, if he was really innocent, he would sit down with Robert Mueller and he would take each question and he would, if you really have answers that are honest, you're not worried about a thing. So if Robert Mueller asked him, hey, have you ever collaborated with a Russian to, you know, change the votings, to, give them the okay that they can meddle in our elections? Have you ever collaborated with them? Have you ever, let them meddle? Did you ever know about it? Did you ever meet with them about this? I mean, if he was being honest and he really didn't do it, he would sit there and say, no, I really don't know. This is really not something I was ever a part of. I don't know them. And every other answer after that would just be so organic and so simple and so easy. When you haven't done anything wrong, it's just the easiest thing in the world. You just tell the truth. So after a while, after the Entenmann situation, my initial reaction was, I didn't do it, and I really had to sit down with somebody, and it was so easy when my mom asked me. She asked me, "What'd you do last night?" And I said, "I don't know. I went to bed." It's just so simple. You know when you are innocent and you know when you are guilty, and everybody else does too. Even the best actors in the entire world, we can look through them right away. I mean, there are people in this world that's what they do for a living. They can tell if you're lying or not. And like, lie detection is pretty simple, especially when you're as transparent as a person like Donald Trump. What is he doing? He's throwing the media under the bus. So he's basically taking all the people that are trying to be truth tellers and saying, do not believe them. They are fake news. They are the enemy of the people. They don't know what they're talking about. They're a bunch of losers, idiots, assholes. And his base is believing it. And he's just trying to undermine the truth. Same thing that he's doing with Mueller and the entire FBI to save his ass. Oh, they have no basis in what they're talking about. They're a bunch of liars. He's actually saying that Mueller has a vendetta against him because of something that happened in this golf course like 20 years ago. He's saying that the fees went up at his own golf course and Mueller didn't like it, so he quit. But he's saying that Mueller was all angry and has this vendetta. I mean, it's just like, it's kind of what I did with the rocking chair. I remember blaming on a bunch of people, and I remember blaming on this Alana and blaming on Steve and this other kid named Paul, and I remember how I did it. I was like, oh, Alana's so shady. Who knows what she'll do? We don't know what she's gonna do. She could do anything. Hey, and to Paul, I was like, oh, don't you know that he has a really bad upbringing? His parents, they got divorced. He was alone a lot as a kid, and his parents fought over custody with him. Who knows what he's capable of? And that's just what you do when you're guilty. You start blaming people. You start talking about them as, and then Pete Bardenotis, he wanted to confess, and I undermined his credibility. He was saying, yeah, I did do it. Like, me and Carrie, we did do it. That's what he was saying to his parents, which got to my parents. And I was like, you're going to believe this idiot? Do you know that he actually is failing calculus right now? Do you know that he actually, like 5 years ago, like did graffiti on the lockers in Comac Middle School? Like, you're going to believe him? You start undermining the people that are telling the truth just so you can get away with your shit. For me, I let it go because this was just a very small crime. We got in trouble, and he got detention for a while, and whatever. But that's what you do. You undermine the people that are telling on you. I was like, what the fuck does Pete know? Look at his fucking family and upbringing and his, I started bringing up other things that he had done when he was like 5 years old. And we were like 13 and 14 years old. It's just, I couldn't have looked more guilty. And this administration just looks guiltier and guiltier by the second. And I don't understand why, if they really think and feel and believe that they're innocent, why they don't just put Trump on the witness stand and have Mueller interview him. If he's really, really innocent, I'm so sick of hearing there's been no collusion, no collusion, no collusion. If there's been no collusion, start talking. Start answering. It would be so simple. I mean, he's the one, Donald Trump, over and over and over is saying that this has been going on too long. All his Trump supporters are saying this is going on too long. You know how to make it not go on any longer? Talk to Robert Mueller. He's waiting for you to answer his questions. After that, it's over. I mean, I believe that the absolute last step that he's looking for. Everything after that, he's like peeling the onion round and round and getting to the bottom of it. And Trump's like the middle of the onion, the very middle pearl. And if he just says, I'll talk to him, I believe it'll be all over. So you have to choose a lane. Do you want it to go on and on and on and on, or do you want it to be over? If you're guilty, you want it to go on and on and on and on. If you're innocent, you want it to be over. You want to end it, as soon as possible. You want to sit down with that person and answer questions, because you got nothing to hide. You don't have to worry about what you say when you're innocent. When you're innocent, I mean, I remember also I had a boyfriend accusing me of cheating on him, which I'm sure just like everybody else. And if you really didn't do it, you want to talk about it. You're like, are you kidding me? I didn't. Look at my phone. Here is my phone. Look at it. Look through it. Call my friends. Go to the bar I was at last night and talk to the bartender. Like, you are full of evidence. You're full of proof. But if you've done something wrong, if I did cheat on him, how would I react? If I did. Let's see, I guess if someone asked me, hey, did you hook up with someone last night? And I'd be like, no. And they'd probably say, well, where were you? And I'd say, I go to Murray's all the time. Oh, really? What time are you there? I don't know. It's really late. Took an early Uber home. And then if he said, so who were you hanging out with? Who you were there with? I don't know, some friends. Pretty much what Trump is saying right now. It could have been China. It could have been Russia. It could have been, vague. You would use vague answers. Now, if I was innocent when I'm being asked if I was cheating on someone and they said, who were you with? I would say, even if I wasn't with anybody, even if I was by myself, I would say, I was by myself. I was hanging out. Just hanging out, having a drink, shooting the shit with people, liking being free, having a good time. It's just, your answers come out so freely. And I think that we need to really have some serious mental health professionals on this case instead of someone like, even though I believe in Robert Mueller, I fucking pray to Robert Mueller. I think we need to have a couple more psychiatrists, a couple more lie detector people that can tell these things. And, we have to figure this out because he is so fucking guilty. And, yeah. So think about how you've reacted to both things. Think about one situation that you haven't done what you've been accused of, and it's awful. It's awful. And think about an occasion that you did do what you were accused of, and that's probably even more awful because you're terrified. The terror creeps in. The terror doesn't creep in the first one. It's not a terror. It's more of like a, no, I didn't do it. And the other one's like, I didn't do it. Oh my God. That's probably the one that's going to give you a heart attack, which why Donald Trump looks the way he does at 72. He looks like he's going to go down any second. One more burger and his blood type is going to be ragu and he's out the door. Anyway, so think about those things. Think about those two situations and tell me which one Donald Trump is acting more like. Okay, my email is cjzontv@gmail.com. Please give me any comments or any questions that you have to this. And of course, tell me your story about how you reacted when you were accused of something and you were innocent or guilty. And talk to you next week.